This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. From now through November 24th, you can get $400 off every window and $800 off every entry and patio door. That's at $0 down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for a whole 2 years. For more information, call 717-727-7558 or drop by rbacentralpa.com/deals. Remember, offer ends November 24th. The FBI is warning of violent groups targeting kids online. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh schools will instruct anti-racist math. The ACLU wants a borough to get rid of its social gathering ordinance. Lastly, a student scored way more than just a half-court shot. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and you're listening to Today in PA. The Pittsburgh FBI asked reporters to come to their office last week to discuss what one agent called one of the most disturbing things he's seen in his career, reports CBS Local Pittsburgh. Without naming any specific group, the FBI warned the reporters who gathered there that violent organizations are preying on kids online, trying to convince them, by blackmailing the kids, to harm themselves, their families, and even their animals. Agents mentioned these incidents occurred on gaming platforms, although whether they occurred on other sites online wasn't mentioned. They also declined to give the exact number of cases they have on the matter, although they confirmed that there are multiple investigations open, and that there's been a number of victims in the Pittsburgh area. Pittsburgh Public Schools has made the move to hire a consultant that will help the district teach quote-unquote anti-racist math, reports CBS Local Pittsburgh. This podcast previously reported how the Board of Education was considering spending $50,000 to hire this consultant from Kate Sell Education, which it did, to quote, identify, disrupt, and replace white supremacy culture practices in math instruction with practices that center the wellness of students of color. This consulting includes workshops for district math teachers to fully engage students of color in learning math in the hopes of improving their performance. Says Assistant Superintendent Sean McNeil when asked whether this program is more of a dumbing down of math for students, quote, at times, there is a right or wrong answer, but we don't just emphasize the right or wrong answer, we emphasize the journey. Lewisburg, which is in Union County, has this social gathering ordinance that's been around for 10 years, which requires any gathering attended by more than 25 people to get a $40 permit if alcohol is served or consumed, states PennLive. It used to be 75 people before the pandemic, and now the Borough Council is thinking of bumping it up to 50. And when they caught wind of this, the American Civil Liberties Union of Pennsylvania revealed it thinks the ordinance is unconstitutional and should be done away with. Buffalo Valley Regional Police Department Chief Paul Yost explained the point of the ordinance was to identify who is responsible for an event, how many people are expected to attend, and how alcohol will be served. Almost all of the 630-something permits that were issued this year, for example, were for off-campus parties related to Bucknell. Regardless, the ACLU maintains and violates free association, privacy, and due process protections. No major moves have been taken as of yet, but the ACLU did say it plans to continue conversations with the borough about it. Sakirul Karim is a freshman at Drexel University, majoring in computer science, says Philly Voice. But that's not why he's the focus of this segment. He is the focus because, while attending a school pep rally last week for the upcoming basketball season, Karim was picked by a raffle and won $10,000 after sinking a half-court shot. And he didn't even want to go. His friends had to drag him there. But what's he gonna do now that he's all flush with cash? Says Karim himself, quote, I might get some food and hang out with my friends, but most of it's going to tuition. That wraps up today's episode. For even more Pennsylvania news and beyond, head on over to PennLive.com. Also, please don't forget to rate this podcast wherever you may listen to it and to leave it an honest review if you so desire. Thanks ahead of time, and of course, thanks for listening. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and I'll be back again tomorrow for some more Today in PA. This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. From now through November 24th, you can get $400 off every window and $800 off every entry and patio door. That's at $0 down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for a whole 2 years. For more information, call 717-727-7558 or drop by rbacentralpa.com/deals. Remember, offer ends November 24th.